Today we're going to go over how to complete a IRP application for the state of Georgia. IRP, that stands for International Registration Plan, aka apportion plates, aka tags. This is how you're going to get on the road. If your base state is Georgia, this is how you're going to get on a road, and you're going to get on the road legal using your apportion plates. So for you guys out there that's wondering, how can I apply for my IRP? How can I get this process started? This is where you go, guys. This is where it begins. You're going to type in, if you can see my URL here, you're going to type in dor.georgia and follow that breadcrumb, and that's going to get you to exactly where you need to be for starters. Okay, this is the very first step, guys. You're looking to get on the road. You're like, I want to get on the road. I know I need to get on the road, but I don't know how. I don't know what the first process is. This is the first step. You're going to get here and you're going to get on a website and you're going to do this thing yourself. Okay, IRP, open a new account. Okay, to open a new international registration plan, that's your apportion plate, aka tax. In order to open up this IRP account so that you can get your apportion plates, there are going to be a couple of steps that you need to do in order to get this thing done. All right, and it's going to happen very, very logically and methodically once you get the things that you're supposed to have done down pack. Okay, so once you complete this process and you've submitted the supporting documents and successfully complete the application review process, have completed that process, you're going to get your login credentials, your IRP login credentials, which is a portal where you would go in and add trucks. You would go in that same portal to delete trucks. You would go in that same portal to make any type of changes that you need to make to your new IRP account. Okay. Once your payment, moving to the second bullet here, once your payment upon approval is required for a temporary apportion permit to be generated. So what that means is basically once you've gotten approved, right, you've submitted all your documents in and you've gotten approved. Once you make payment up on that IRP invoice, once that payment is made, immediately you will receive a email generated. Actually, once you make the invoice, once you make the payment on the invoice, there's going to be a pop-up screen, and that pop-up screen will include your new temporary registration and your CAP card and proof of receipt. Okay, and the good part about all of this is you receive it immediately. So that means, what does that mean? What does that mean? That means you can get on the road. That means you can put that CAP card and that temporary registration in a truck and go. Okay, that's exciting. That is exciting news. All right, so all this happened, this entire process happens through email, right? Which explains a lot because they're backed up because they're getting so much email. So them having to sift through all of this material and make sure they have proper documentation, it's a long process, and I'm not taking up for them. I'm just saying this is really a long process. So if you're ready and you're prepared, you have all your documents, go ahead, let's do it. Go ahead and get it submitted in. And this is the email address right here that you're going to submit everything in. Now, you're not submitting all documents individually. You're going to submit your required documents and the application. You're going to submit it into one email. Okay. If you submit it as a following email, they're not going to look at it. They're going to look at all documents at one time. The state of Georgia does not retain any of those documents. So you're going to have to resubmit if you choose to do it in pieces. If you choose to submit these applications in pieces, that's not going to work. Okay, so make sure you just gather all the documents at one time and then submit it to this email address right here for review. Okay, and here, pay close attention to this particular sentence here. It says allow up to five business days to receive an email with approval or information regarding further action required. And basically what that means is, if when you submitted your application and the supporting documents, and they may find that you need an additional doc or some other requiring documents, and so they'll give you an opportunity to resubmit with the additional information that they're requesting. However, it puts you back in the beginning of the line, okay? Which means you have to submit everything that you submitted the first time. So let's just say, for an example, if they said, I see the insurance card, but we need the entire declaration and every supporting document behind that insurance policy, right? At that point, you're having to resubmit it to this email address right here. You're going to resubmit to this email address right here. However, you're going to include everything that you sent originally. Okay, not just that insurance policy, just with the declaration page. You're going to send that, which is what was requested in the example I just gave you. But in addition to, you're going to submit all the original documents you sent in the prior email to this address right here. Okay, you want to make sure that you do that. Otherwise, this allow up to 5 business days turns into weeks and then turns into months, okay? All right, so let's move to part 1, the required documents. This is the big deal right here. We'll go through the application process. We'll go through every single cell in the application, but the required documents is really what will get you to the approval status. Okay, so jurisdiction requirements. To select Georgia as the base jurisdiction, the applicant must meet the following requirements. Okay, all right, let's go through them. Applicant must show an established place of business. Well, okay, I can do that. I can show an established place of business. How hard could that be if I'm a resident of Georgia? Or provide proof of Georgia residency. Okay, 5 proofs from the established place of business list, or 3 proofs. So you mean I can either submit 5 from the established place of business or 3 from the Georgia residency. And so most people are going to go with what? Option 3, because that just means I have to come up with 3 proofs of Georgia residency. Well, I'm a residency of Georgia. How hard could that be? However, if you're not a Georgia, if you don't complete this form under the Georgia residency, you're saying basically that you have an established place of business. Okay, so there's a physical location where you office. That's what that means. And if that's you, if you have a physical location where you office, then you would be able to meet those 5 proofs that you need in order to establish your place of business. If you don't have a physical location in Georgia, then you're just going to go under the Georgia residency. And a lot of people go here if that fits you. Okay, and if it does not fit you, then you're going to go into the established place of business. Does that make sense? Okay, now one thing they pointed out real quickly here in bold print, the proofs cannot mix and match, which means you can't have 2 proofs from the established place of business and then submit 3 to qualify under the Georgia residency. So you can't mix between the 2. All right, does that make sense? Great. All right, let's keep going. Post office box address, the virtual offices are not accepted. Okay, so you're going to have a physical mailing address here, period. If you have a P.O. box, if you have a virtual office, they will not accept that. All right, so let's keep going down here because we're going to go through. I can't wait. I'm so excited. We're going to go through these applications, and I swear before it's over with, you're going to be confident that you can complete your own IRP application. And guys, I always say If you, and we do this for a living, okay? If you're not comfortable completing this application, hire someone to do it, okay? It is just better to be comfortable and have it done right the first time than to have to repeat the same having to repeat the same mistake or make a mistake or all that. Just if you're not comfortable with it, hey, give it to someone else to do. You got other things to do. You don't have time to do paperwork. Okay, give it to someone else to do. All right. So for you other people who are just go-getters out there, and you're like, I can take care of this. It's not gonna. I got time. If you got time, this is for you. All right. So there are two applications with the Georgia application for IRP, right? International Registration Plan. There are two applications. Okay. So you have your new account application. Again, this whole entire slideshow presentation is for new accounts. Okay, so this is a slideshow for new accounts. So you have your Schedule A, your Schedule G, and your Schedule A. And if you're doing this, if you're not the applicant, right, and you're a registered bond service provider, then you're going to do that under POA. That is one of the other forms in addition to those two forms here, Schedule G and Schedule A. You're going to submit a POA, and that stands for Power of Attorney, okay? And that's if you're not the applicant. All right, so let's go over some supporting documents real quick. These are the documents that you're going to include in that one email, guys. You remember we looked at this one email here? Yeah, commercial.v. This is the email address. This is where it all happens. You're not going to go anywhere else to submit your Georgia International Registration Plan, aka IRP, aka apportion plates and tags, okay? This is where you're going to go. So let's move right along. If when you've completed this application, you want to make sure that you have your supporting documents, all right? And so we're going to start with a copy of your driver's license. You're going to need a copy of your driver's license, okay? Submit that. The other thing that you're going to need are your insurance, all right? So what kind of insurance do you have? And not just that cover page. You're going to want to include the sheets that shows the type of coverage you have, the amount of coverage you have, and make sure it has your VIN number. If you don't submit it with the entire insurance policy, they're going to kick it back. Okay, so let's move right along. If you have a Georgia vehicle title receipt, that's your MB1. Georgia vehicle title receipt. You've purchased a truck. Okay, you purchased it in a different state, not Georgia. Okay, come on, bring it over here. Get it registered. Get it registered in Georgia. Make sure it's a Georgia record. All right, you're going to need that. That's part of your supporting documents. If you don't have that, then it must be a IRP registration only title record. If that's not you, if you're not a registered only title record, then you're going to need a Georgia vehicle title receipt. This is proof. This Georgia vehicle title receipt is proof that this is a Georgia record, right? This vehicle is registered in the state of Georgia. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, good. Let's keep going. If you don't own it, which means you don't have a title, you have to be leasing it, right? If you don't own it, then you're leasing it. If you own it, then you have the title. All right, so you can produce a copy of the title, right? But it's still, again, it needs to be registered in the state of Georgia. All right, so the IRP leasing agreement is where you would click that hyperlink in order to get the leasing information. All right, so, and that's just like if you purchase your truck, hey, purchase it, guess what it came with? It came with a leasing agreement. And guess what you did? You retained your documents because you knew that this day will come. You knew that you wanted to retain your documents because that's just part of good record keeping. And so you have this document and you're ready. When you get ready to get your apportion plates, you're ready to submit this information because you have it in your files already. Now, let's go with the heavy vehicle use tax. That's your HVUT, heavy vehicle use tax, that Form 2290. Yeah, that issues that Schedule 1. Yes, that's it. So reflecting all vans which would be registered at a weight of more than 54,999 pounds. If you're over 55,000 pounds, you are required by the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, to file a HVUT, that is your heavy vehicle use tax, right? The Form 2290, which means when you file this, which means you have a tax obligation. So you may have hired a service provider to file your Form 2290. Excellent. You're going to pay them their fee. And then you also have an additional fee. Where does that fee go to? Directly to the IRS. The IRS would debit your bank account for that tax obligation, depending on the month that you put your truck in service. All right, let's keep going. So if you are not, here we are, the IRP employment lease agreement requirements, if applicant is not the carrier responsible for safety. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means that you are running under another authority. And if you are running under another MC, motor carrier, then you are not the person, you're not the company, you're not the individual that is responsible for safety. All right, that's all that means. And if you're not that person, then they have to fill out this leasing agreement. Okay, it's called the IRP. Again, IRP stands for International Registration Plan, because it is a plan that you have elected to do, which means you're saying, you know what, I'm a part of the plan, which means I'm not going to purchase any more trip permits. Nah, that stuff is too costly anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to become a part of the plan. I'm going to sign up for my IRP. So let's read part 2, application review. Please allow 5 business days to receive an email with the next steps required to establish your new IRP account. So if you are approved, then you will get an email. And the email is going to say what? Hey, congratulations, you're approved. Your IRP account is this number, XXXXX. After that, what they're going to ask for is for you to pay your IRP invoice. What are you going to do? Well, you're trying to get on the road. So you're going to pay that IRP invoice right on spot so you can get your temporary registration, so you can get your cab card, and so you can get what? A receipt for your payment. Right? And then let's go. Get in the road, get in the truck. Let's roll. Let's make some money. Okay. So again, if you're trying to establish place of business, remember I told you earlier in the presentation that you need a physical structure. And that physical structure has to be located in the state of Georgia. Right? You can't have a physical location in a different state, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to establish that place of business, okay? And that's if you're trying to qualify under the established place of business. Remember, if it's not the established place of business, you're going to qualify as a Georgia resident, okay? And so if you're going back to this first point of establishing place of business, how many proofs you need? 5. But if you're trying to establish residency, Georgia's residency, how many proofs you need? 3. All right. And so it breaks down what type of proof that you need to establish a place of business. Okay. And that's going to start off with your annual registration. You're going to find that where? Secretary of State, print all of these documents out, because guess what? You're gonna be the best at record keeping. I know you are. You can do this. Did you doubt yourself? Don't do that. Don't do that. So here's your physical structure. Another option for you is county issued certification of zoning compliance. Right? This demonstrates your physical location or your physical structure that's located within the state of Georgia. Okay. And again, specific street address does not include the P.O. box number. Let's go down to number 3. Okay, and keep in mind, guys, if I'm going too fast, this is the URL. It'll take you directly where I'm at, and you can go through this list and get this thing submitted. All right, so an employee schedule demonstrating physical structure of your staff during regular business hours. Again, this is applicable if you have a physical location and you're deciding to complete your IRP under what? I can't hear you. Established place of business. Exactly. And so under the established place of business, you need 5 proofs. So that sounds like a lot. All right. So why not try if that isn't applicable to you, what you're going to go for is the proof of Georgia residency. Okay. That's applicable to you. If this is applicable to you, these are the list of items that you could submit as your supporting documents. All right, let's get on the road. You can do this. If you are an individual, right? If you're an individual, you're going to submit your driver's license. Now, what does that mean if I'm an individual? What does that really mean? That means if you're sole prop, if your company is in your name, if there's no separation between you and your company name, then chances are you're sole prop. And so if that's the case, then you're considered an individual. And so the only thing you have to submit is your driver's license. Okay. And hopefully, if your driver's license is issued by the state of Georgia, you won't have any problems. Okay. All right. And make sure that address on that driver's license is the same as the other address of these supporting documents that you will be submitting. All right. So if you're a corporation, you're going to provide proof of incorporation that the entity is authorized to do business where? In Georgia. You can't do business in Texas and you're trying to prove Georgia residency, right? Okay. Number 3, if you're a corporation, proof the owner of the corporation is a legal Georgia resident. Well, how can I prove that? Well, if I have articles, then surely I can prove that with my articles, right? Okay, proof of federal income tax return that is filed in Georgia, but from where? Can I just submit a federal tax return? No, I can't. Not if it doesn't have the Georgia address, right? Not just any address. All of the address have to coincide. They have to match. Okay. Proof of applicant has paid their personal income tax to Georgia. Again, that address is applicable. Real estate or property tax paid. They're just trying to make sure that you are a resident of Georgia. Okay, let's move on. Utility bills. Do you have utility bills? Are they in Georgia? Good. Keep going. That are in either the applicant's individual or business name. So here it can be in your name as the applicant or the business name. Okay, and they only need one. Don't submit multiple utility bills. Again, they're only trying to prove you're only trying to prove that you're a resident of the state, right? So it only takes one utility bill, okay? And within that 60-day frame, you don't need to submit more than one utility bill, okay? They get the point, okay? So again, number 8, vehicle title in Georgia in either the applicant's individual name or the business name. Submit only one title record, okay? One title record that's titled in the state of Georgia. It can either be in your name or the business name. And guess what, guys? That is literally that's it in a nutshell. Those are some of the documents that you can submit. Here it is right here. This is where you find it. Again, look at that URL at the very top. I'm scrolling up here. Okay, and it takes you right to IRP, open a new account, right? Because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get on the road. You're trying to get going. Now, earlier I said we're going to go through the application, and I meant just that. We're going to go through the application step by step. Let's try to drag this over here. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. There we go. All right, this is the application schedule G. And again, this is for new accounts, right? You can do this. I am rooting for you. Listen, if you guys are not doing this, let me tell you, you're missing out on a big opportunity. A trucking company, trucking business is booming. If you have a part to play in this, I salute you, number one, because number one, you guys are keeping this country running, and that's just much appreciation to you guys. So we really appreciate you going out there and providing food for us to eat and so on and so on. Okay, so let's get back here. Your new account application schedule G. On all seriousness, we really appreciate you. We really do. All right, so the registrant's full legal name is going to go here. All right, in that first block here. And then the US DOT number, right? That's your DOT number, right? So by this time, you've already gotten your DOT. Your MC has gone active. Right, your MC is active. It's not pending. Your MC is active. You're ready to go. You're going to put right here, you're going to put your EIN number. All right. Your EIN number is usually 9 digits. Here you're going to put your business address. And remember we were talking earlier with those supporting documents. Those supporting documents need to match. They need to match. And so this is the address that they need to match. All right. Business address. And then you're going to put in your mailing address. And again, no P.O. box. Here you're going to put the contacts person name. That's you. All right, that's you. You're going to put your first and last name here. Your email address, because this is very important. So watch out for typos here. This is where they're going to communicate with you. This is where they're going to tell you you're approved. This is where they're going to tell you, oh, nope, we forgot something. You forgot something. You're missing your form 2290. Where's your form 2290? They're going to do that at this email address here. So you want to make sure that that email address is legit. Your telephone number here. And if you have a fax number, if you don't, you can leave that blank. Keep going with me. Let's go down to B. Okay. So for B, your carrier responsible for safety, this is going to be who? The carrier, the person that's responsible for safety. Who is that? Who is that? That's the MC. That's the owner of the MC. That's what's going on right here. This is the authority that's being ran under. Okay. And then you're going to click over here to US DOT. That's where you're going to put the DOT number again. So a lot of this information may be a bit repetitive. Okay, maybe a bit repetitive, but guess what? We're still doing it. We're in it. We're in it to win it.